Alola everyone, and welcome back to another Pokedex guide. My name is PhillyBeatzU, and in these guides we take a look at all the various locations in the Alola region and see what Pokemon you can catch there. In this episode, of course, we'll be talking about Route 17. Now, Route 17 is located on Ula Ula Island, and it's close to Po Town, which is where things with Team Skull goes down. Route 17 runs along the northwest of Ula Ula Island and contains the walled town, Po Town. It never stops raining in this route. It has grass on the left-hand side, but also a mountainside element on the right. Now, Route 17 is interesting because that rain mechanic is going to play a big role. So without further ado, let us take a look at the Pokemon that we do find on this route. So as you can see, a 30% chance of encountering Pharaoh, a 20% chance of encountering Lydion during the day, a 20% chance of encountering Ariados at night, 30% chance of encountering Gumshoos during the day, and a 30% chance of encountering Raticate at night. Of course, you can see Pancham is located on this route and has the ability to SOS call in Pangoro also here. Now moving on, there's also another location as you can see over here, and these are the Pokemon that you can find in this area. We have again Fearow throwing up with a 30% chance, Gumshoos 30, Raticate, Pancham, and Pangoro, but the difference with this area is you get a Skarmory with a 10% chance, and I think what's really cool is a Graveler with a 20% chance of showing up over here. Now, of course, Graveler can only evolve through trading into Golem, but there is a location in the game where you can get a Graveler through trade, but we'll talk about that when we reach that guide. Now moving on, there's also another few mechanics that we can take a look at on this route that I mentioned earlier when it comes down to looking at rain. So here it is. We have the Berry Tree with Crabrawler and the mechanic that I wanted to talk to you guys about, the SOS weather mechanic. Now the SOS mechanic is interesting, especially in the weather, because when it rains, especially on this route, you have a chance of a Goomy showing up and Cast Form showing up. So if you wanted to get yourselves a Goodra eventually, this would be the area to do it. And I suggest if it's not maybe raining, you get yourself a Pelipper. Pelipper comes in handy with its ability to make it rain. So keep that in mind on routes where it doesn't even rain, because you can also get a Cast Form in another route or another location. So yeah, keep that in mind. But this is really cool because it rains and you get yourself a Goomy. Now something that's really big, really big, as you can see, we have our first Ultra Beast showing up on a route. Now this Ultra Beast is known as Kartana and is exclusive to Pokemon Sun only. You cannot get it in Moon unless you trade over. Now let's take a look at Kartana, because Kartana is quite an interesting Ultra Beast. In fact, it's a really tiny Ultra Beast as well. Now, Kartana is known as the Drawn Sword Pokemon. It is genderless. Its type is a Grass Steel, and as we can see the weaknesses over here, it has a 4 times weakness to fire. 4 times weakness to fire, and has a 2 times weakness to fighting. Besides that, it's pretty decent. Even Ferrothorn was a pretty good Pokemon, and fire and fighting seem to be the weakness, but definitely fire is the most dangerous thing, and we have a lot of Pokemon that we have to be careful about when we're using Kartana. We can think of Marowak, Alolan Marowak, of course. We can also think of Salazzle with that fire poison type, and its ability Corrosion, which can mess up Kartana pretty bad. Now we have Beast Boost as Kartana's ability, which increases the Pokemon highest stat when it knocks out a Pokemon. And if we scroll down here, we take a look at the base stat total, and it is 570 when it comes to Kartana. Its HP is 59, pretty low. Attack is amazing, 181. Defense is 131. Special attack is 59. Special defense is really low, and its speed is 109. So when it does knock out a Pokemon, its attack will constantly boost and boost and boost. Now, it can be outsped by a lot of different Pokemon. Salazzle can definitely outspeed Kartana, so there's something to be careful about when you're using Kartana. And its special defense is 31, which means a flamethrower, a flamethrower alone can mess it up. Let's take a look at some of the moves that, we can play around when we come to Kartana. Now, here it is. Sacred Sword. I think this is really cool that we could even throw this on Kartana. This does 90 attack damage and the accuracy is 100. Now, something else that we might want to throw on this Pokemon is a Swords Dance. raising the attack even higher than it already is. That would be something great to do when it comes to Kartana. We also have Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade is a good attack as well because of the stab bonus, and it does 90 damage. Does 90 damage, right? And it has 100% accuracy. So you get critical hits landing easier as well with the Leaf Blade attack. So that's pretty good as well. Now, as we said, fighting is definitely a threat of this Pokemon, fighting types with the 2x attack. So I would suggest maybe you want to throw in a Psycho Cut. That's up to you. The user team targets with blades formed by psychic power. Critical hits land more easily. So you have a good chance of getting crits with the Leaf Blade or even with the Psycho Cut. So all these sharp attacks as well. We do have a lot of ghost type Pokemon in the game as well, so depending on the meta and what's used a lot, Night Slash can also be a move that you might want to think about. The user slashes the target, the instant an opportunity arises, critical hits land more easily. So we want to stick really with the critical hits a lot in this game. Now, if you wanted to know if there was a steel type move that you can use as a stab, yeah, there is one. It is known as TM67, the Smart Strike. Now, this user stabs the target with Sharp Horn. The attack never misses. It does 70 damage based on its own, but with the stab bonus, it's going to do a little more than that. But that's pretty much it, guys. Again, you can play around with it. A lot of Psychic Pokemon being used. Go ahead, throw an X-Scissor on it. It's pretty good Pokemon overall, and you want to really focus on its ability to attack. Maybe throw a Focus Sash if you think you don't want it going down right away. Try to get a Swords Dance off. That'll be amazing. And Kartana can do a lot of damage. So yeah, this is pretty much it for this guide on this route. This is the final route, like I mentioned, of the Pokedex guide. But there are other locations we will be talking about, so do not worry. You'll be having those episodes coming to you guys soon. It's so cool that we finally get to see Pokemon like Gumi, Castform, and Kartana, and not the boring Yungoos and Raticate everywhere, only those Pokemon. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. My name is PhillyBeatzU, and I'll be definitely seeing you guys in the next episode. I'm out.